Now that you mention it, I feel like it wasn't.
Just as I thought.
Just as you thought?
If the killer planted evidence while Hiyoko was there, she would have thrown it away if she found it.
Which means the gummy was placed inside the closet after Hiyoko fled from the beach house?
The killer returned to the scene of the crime? After I left?
They wouldn't have to do something that troublesome as long as they hid somewhere within the beach house.
That's impossible! There's nowhere to hide! I even glanced inside the shower room as I was running away, but there was nobody there!
Then, does that mean the killer came back?
I wonder. At any rate, the solution to that problem is connected to what really happened. That's what I think.
It's all coming together! Do you think the killer might have been hiding?
You spent all that time thinking just to say something so pointless. How disappointing. Didn't I just say there was nowhere to hide? Do I have to explain it in another language so you can understand?
Her personality got a hell of a lot more forceful once she stopped being a suspect.
No, there should have been a place for them to hide. A place you didn't look, Yoko.
What are you saying? Stop being annoying or I'm gonna make Akane bop you on the head and shut you up for good!
Here! The killer is probably hiding in the closet.
The closet? That's where I was locked up!
After you woke up, you said you rushed out of there, right? And you probably didn't look inside the closet very carefully.
But could two people even hide in such a small place? And without Hiyoko knowing?
That's why the killer made sure to arrange a hiding place.
What about the surfboard case in the closet? I'm pretty sure they could have hidden in there.
Huh? Inside the surfboard case?
But the shelf it was on, it was pretty messy, don't you think? Two surfboards were stacked on the top shelf. And there were surfboards that weren't even in a case. The killer probably did that on purpose to secure a hiding place, 'cause we haven't been on this island that long. So the closet shouldn't have been that messy, I think.
Then, the killer was close to me during that time?
Yeah, they were quietly holding their breath and hiding very close to you.
It's kinda like in for a penny, in for a pound, so to speak.
Don't you mean it's always darkest under the lighthouse?
I shouldn't say things I don't understand, like, so to speak.
Anyway, the killer hid silently, and after making sure Hiyoko left, they finally left the surfboard case.
I agree with that as well.
Seriously, nobody asked what you think.
There's no way the killer would leave Hiyoko by herself if they were trying to frame her. If Hiyoko was left alone and ruined the evidence the killer had planted, it would have messed up their plan. Instead, it makes more sense to think that the killer was hiding in the beach house, watching Hiyoko.
Saying whatever you want, even if you didn't ask. Alright, if you don't want to friggin' get punched, just stand still and let me punch ya! Oh, you shut up. Then, grit your teeth.
Sorry, Akane. It's not like that. Hey, Monokuma. Can I ask you about something that seems strange to me?
I believe Prince Shotoku was from the future. A man from the future is always directing the flow of history.
I'll listen to your story about men from the future some other time. As I recall, the body discovery announcement is made when 3 or more people discover a body, right? Is the killer also included?
Yeah, that's true, but, something like that is basically what it's supposed to be.
You don't sound very articulate.
Jeez! You're pretty annoying for noticing something like that! I know it sounds like an excuse, but the body discovery announcement isn't supposed to be used for deduction. It's intended to create a fair trial. It's supposed to let everyone know a body has been found.
So you're saying it's unfortunate that I used it for deduction? I understand your excuse, but depending on who actually found the body, it's possible that your 3 or more people rule could be deadly.
Well, as long as I keep things ambiguous, I can respond to situations with some flexibility.
Flexibility, huh? So what about this time? Is it 3 people including the killer or not?
Jeez, fine! You want me to say it? It doesn't include the killer this time, okay? All done.
Which means 3 people other than the killer discovered Mahiru's body.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I just thought it was somewhat strange. More importantly, let's get back to our original topic.
You're the one who went on a tangent!
We were just saying the killer was hiding in the surfboard case, right?
And after Hyoko ran away, the killer got to enjoy the simple life of destroying evidence.
However, before we proceed any further, there's something we have to make clear. The killer blocked the roadside door with Mahiru's body before Hyoko ran away. But what about the blood?
Now that you mention it, that mystery hasn't been solved yet.
It's going to be alright. If you guys have come this far, I'm sure you can discover that answer too. Now, let's start the argument, shall we? What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use the shower.
Oh, what about the wetsuits in the closet? Maybe they wore one when they moved the body.
If they used something other than the shower...
Damn it!
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply...
They couldn't use the so washing it off would have been impossible.
They didn't have to use the shower.
What about the wetsuits in the closet? Maybe they wore one when they moved the body.
If they used something other than the shower...
What did they do with the bloody wetsuit?
They cut it up and flush.
As someone who flushes their shit every morning, I can declare it would definitely clog the toilet!
Maybe it's the other way around? Perhaps someone other than the killer moved the body?
Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been...
They didn't have to use the shower.
What about the wet... Maybe they wore one.
If they used something other than the shower...
What did they do with the bloody wet?
They cut it up and...
As someone who flushed, it would definitely clog...
Maybe it's the other... Perhaps someone other...
Maybe they were able to wash it off.
What did the killer do with the blood on their body?
Maybe they simply washed it off.
They couldn't use the shower, right? So washing it off would have been impossible. No, that's wrong!
If they just needed to wash off the blood, they didn't necessarily have to use the shower. They could have just as easily used something else.
Something other than the shower. Like what? I see!
Drinks inside the refrigerator. Couldn't the killer have used those to wash off the blood?
I've seen through it. In theory, that's impossible.
Why?
Try to remember the refrigerator carefully, and then you will understand that there's no possible way the drinks in the refrigerator were used. It's true there were drinks in the beach house with, however, try thinking if one bottle wouldn't be enough to wash off the blood.
I can't back down!
We can't assume they used just one drink. They could have used a bunch of them to wash it off.
Didn't I say it was impossible? There were no water bottles in the refrigerator. There were only flavored drinks with colored dyes.
If you use the blood will come up, it will leave an error, especially if you use the water.
Damn it!
It's true there were drinks in the beach, however, try think one bottle wouldn't be enough to wash off the blood.
I can't back down!
We can't assume they used just one drink. They could have used a bunch of them to wash it off.
Didn't I say it was impossible? There were no water bottles in the refrigerator.
Allow me to cut through those words!
There were water bottles inside the refrigerator.
How many times do I have to tell you? There were no water bottles in there whatsoever.
That was after the incident, right? But before the incident, there were water bottles in the fridge. And the killer took all of those water bottles and used them to wash the blood off their body.
So you're saying the water bottles were gone? Because they were all used? That's a logical fallacy.
It's not a fallacy. There should have been evidence inside the trash can. Evidence like a lot of thrown away plastic water bottles. Isn't that right, Chiaki?
Ah, you're right. These bottles look like they may have been filled with water.
Well, now that you mention it, when I went to the beach house a few days ago, I feel like I drank one of those plastic water bottles.
Huh? You should have said so sooner.
Then, the plastic water bottles were used in place of the shower.
Dousing your body with lots of water bottles is such a simple and easy to understand explanation.
It seems you've realized who the killer is. See? Just as I thought.
Hold on. You know who the killer is?
Is that true?
Let me ask, who might that be?
The only one! Peko. Is it you?
Hey! What are you being quiet for? They're accusing you of being the killer!
Then I should ask you this. Why do you believe I'm the killer?
I remember when we were all meeting up to go to the beach. Your appearance when you came to the diner. If the killer really did wash the blood off with water bottles, they'd have to drench their entire body. But there were no towels in the beach house, and it would have taken a while for the water to fully air dry. So you said you went swimming so you'd have a cover story.
Don't just stay silent! Say something! Hold on, you bastard! You saw her at the diner! You never saw her near the beach house, right? So maybe she really was swimming!
No one even saw her swimming.
No. I saw her.
Huh?
After I ran into you bastards at the diner, I crossed paths with her on my way home. So there's no doubt. She would have arrived at the diner from the opposite direction of the beach house.
Hold on. That's strange. Didn't you just say this earlier? You told me you didn't see anyone. Don't try to tell me you forgot about that.
Not so fast! It's too soon to decide she's a killer. We haven't established how the killer was able to leave the beach house.
Now that you mention it, you're right.
The roadside door was blocked. And if it's impossible to leave from the beachside without leaving footprints, then how the fuck did the killer escape?
Why are you all fired up, Fuyuhiko? You're not the suspect. Peko is.
Who cares about that? Answer me! If you have an explanation, then show me what you got!
We might have an answer.
Huh?
Do you really? This mystery seems unsolvable.
Well, if Peko is the killer, then I might just have an answer to that mystery.
I see. Then let's hear this alleged method of escaping the beach house.
First, let's establish how the killer escaped.
I see!
If the roadside and beachside doors aren't an option, the only other thing I can think of is... well, nothing really. Except...
Huh. Don't you know how high that window is? There's no way Peko could have reached it!
But what if, for instance, she got help from someone?
She might have reached it by riding someone's shoulders, but then that person would have been left behind.
Is it possible an object was used? A rope, for instance?
And what happened to the rope after they used it? And don't say something stupid like they threw it outside!
Of course not! That would violate the school trip rule!
Littering is prohibited. Even if it might be evidence, rules are still rules.
You see? There's no way they'd be able to escape from that window!
No, they just have to use an object.
Chiaki, don't fall asleep on us! We just said they couldn't use an object!
I did? I thought you were saying they couldn't dispose of an object. I see! You don't have to throw it away if you can just hide it somewhere on your body.
Huh? Pekka was wearing a swimsuit, remember? Where would she even hide an object? And if you say she hid it in her special place, I'll stab you in yours!
No! Please don't be violent!
Peko, you carry that bamboo sword on your back at all times, right? If I recall correctly, you had it then too. Despite the fact that you had a swimsuit on, you were still wearing your bamboo sword.
Are you saying she used that bamboo sword to escape through the window?
Yeah. Peko used that bamboo sword as a step stool and escaped out the window.
Sword as a step stool? You see? I knew it! I knew it was a ninja! Didn't I tell ya? A ninja could have climbed that easily. Ninjas know a climbing trick where they lean their sword against a wall and use the handguard as a step stool.
Wow! Just like a Japanese ninja!
Miss Sonia, ninjas only exist in Japan.
Well, it is a bamboo sword, but I'm sure a slender girl like Peko could easily use it to climb.
Well, Peko, do you have anything to say?
Hold on a sec, you bastard! You're saying she used her sword as a step stool and went out the fucking window? Then what about the sword? It would have been left in the shower room and she wouldn't have been able to recover it, dumbass!
Fuyuhiko, why do you even care?
Shut up! Just shut the fuck up and answer me! If you have an answer, then fucking give it to me! If she used the bamboo sword as a step stool, it would have been left behind! Got proof, you bastard? That's obviously impossible! Shut up! Shut up! Don't fuck with me! Got proof, you bastard? Shut up! Shut up! Don't fuck with me! Got proof, you bastard? That's obviously impossible! Bastard! Got proof, you bastard? I'll sell your fucking organs! You're pissing me off! You're pissing me off! Bastard! Shut up! Shut up! Got proof, you bastard? That's obviously impossible! Shut up! Shut up! If she used the bamboo sword as a step stool, it would have been left behind! This is the end!
If she used her bamboo sword as a step stool, she could have recovered it with her sword bag. When she leaned her sword against the wall to use as a step stool, she tied her sword bag to it. And after she climbed up to the window, as long as she hauled the bag up toward her, she would have been able to recover her bamboo sword.
I see. Not just the bamboo sword, but even the sword bag too. She used them both to escape. Akane said she's like a ninja, but it's nothing as silly as that. Simply put, only Peko could have performed this feat. An escape plan befitting of the ultimate swordswoman. Even so, how disappointing. If you'd only let me work with you, it would have been an even greater plan.
No! You just back off!
Is it true? You really killed...
Hold on! You're just making assumptions! You don't have any proof. I won't accept this unless there's proof! Got it, you bastard?
It's fine.
Huh?
said it's fine. Saying anything more would just be an exercise in futility.
Among flowers, the cherry blossom. Among men, the samurai. I commend your decisiveness, at least. Very well. If you admit it, this ends now. Let's cast our votes.
Agreed. Hurry up and vote.
Hold on. Let me confirm one thing first.
Can it wait until after the voting?
This is important, and it relates to the voting. It's about Pecco's motive.
My motive?
In the end, you had no connection to the events depicted in Twilight Syndrome murder case, right? Then, why did you kill Mahiru?
So it's about that. Let's see. If I must answer that question, I must say it was for the sake of justice. In order to protect the justice of this world. I do not sully my hands to satisfy personal grudges. There is only one reason I kill. For the sake of protecting justice.
What are you saying?
Justice is what makes humans human. It's a virtue that human beings should be proud of. Justice is the eternal sun and the enduring moon, the protective father and the smiling mother. Hello! Earth to Pecco! If justice ever disappeared from this world, the world would immediately freeze and people's smiles would vanish. I will not allow that!
It's fine, just stop it!
Justice must always be there to guide us, to shine bright above our heads.
I'm telling you to stop it!
So I must fight. I must continue to fight to protect justice.
Could she be?
As the light of justice shines upon my mask, I expose the hearts of malevolent evil. Justice complete! The center of justice that is pierced by justice. The lead star of justice that shines in the night sky. That would be me. Sparkling justice! Now then, let's execute justice!
What? What the fuck?
Pecco, what are you doing?
I am sparkling justice. In the name of sparkling, shining justice, I have come to deliver justice.
What's going on? What's this? Chill.
Pecco! Finally snap!
Everyone, please be careful! Sparkling Justice is a serial killer who claims to be an ally of justice. Clad in her various hero masks, she is a serial killer who exclusively targets other criminals. She is supposed to be... but... huh?
An ally of justice? So that's why you're wearing a mask! This mask is the dividing line. Just like various idols, the sun is revered because it lies just beyond your gaze. Justice should also be the same.
I don't get it, but this is becoming really crazy!
This is
turning out to be a surprising turn of events. Hey! Now's not the time for you to be sleeping. Take a look. It's a killer.
This again?
Huh? Sleepwalking?
So what's your answer to my previous question? Why did you kill Mahiru?
This world must always be bathed in the light of justice. I must not allow even one shadow. Evil must be eliminated immediately. No matter what, I must not overlook evil.
Evil? Are you saying Mahiru is...
If you knew about that incident, then you must have played the game. Am I right?
And because of that, I was able to find the killer's accomplice hiding on this island like a sewer rat.
Then, the reason you killed Mahiru was...
To protect justice, of course. In order to protect justice, I have become its merciless sword and executed justice. Holy crap! She's such a stereotypical psychopath!
Echo, is this your true identity?
My true identity? I have already forgotten who I am. It just shows my determination. My determination to protect by throwing away what's most important. I'm willing to become anybody to shower this world with justice.
Oh! I can't stand this anymore! Let's just end this farce already!
Let's go over this incident one more time and then let's end this. Here's everything that happened in this case. The incident began this morning when Mahiru spoke to Hyoko. Mahiru most likely played Twilight Syndrome Murder Case, the video game provided to us as the motive. She probably wanted to discuss it with someone else who also appeared in the game as a character. Hyoko accepted Mahiru's invitation, and they promised to have a more detailed conversation about it later. However, someone else overheard their exchange. The killer. The killer eavesdropped on their conversation and used their promise to devise a specific murder plan. By preparing a specific item, they planned to manipulate the two's actions. That item was the letters. They sent fake letters to both Mahiru and Hyoko. The letter Mahiru received told her to come to the beach house at 2:30 p.m. And the letter Hiyoko received told her to come to the beach house at exactly 2 p.m. By providing different times, the killer was able to lure them to the beach house separately. Hiyoko totally trusted that letter, showed up at the beach house at 2 p.m., just like it said, and was drugged into unconsciousness by the killer lying in wait. After putting Hiyoko to sleep, the killer immediately hid her inside the closet so they could frame her as the killer later. At 2:30 p.m., Mahiru arrived at the beach house. She was completely unaware that she'd been targeted for murder. Approaching her from behind, the killer struck the defenseless Mahiru with a specific weapon, the metal bat that was left at the scene of the crime. The bat was brought down onto the back of Mahiru's head, and with that, she took her last breath. According to Mikan's autopsy, Mahiru died instantly, so she probably never knew who killed her. With that, the killer achieved their goal of killing Mahiru and began to tamper with the crime scene. They dragged Mahiru's body so that it blocked the door leading to the road. Also, the mask found at the scene of the crime was something the killer personally left. I'm not really sure why. My guess is it's something similar to a calling card. That's how the crime scene we discovered was created. However, by moving Mahiru's body, the killer got blood splatter on them. Plus, the shower room had no water because it was out of order, so they couldn't wash it off. But the killer expected something like that to happen. Instead of the shower, the killer used something else to wash the blood off their body. They used plastic water bottles that were inside the beach house refrigerator. We can assume they carried the bottles to the shower room before the sequence of events had happened. In place of showering, they washed the blood off their body with water bottles instead. However, they had no choice but to dispose of the empty bottles in the beach house's trash can. Littering is against the rules, and it would have taken too much time to throw them away somewhere else. After the killer washed off the blood, they hid in a specific spot inside the closet Hiyoko was in. The killer hid inside the surfboard case that they had already emptied beforehand. After some time had passed, the sleeping drug used on Hiyoko wore off, and she woke up. I can imagine how badly Hiyoko must have panicked when she came out of the closet. I mean, she made plans to see Mahiru, who lay dead right in front of her. From the shock and panic of being considered a murder suspect, Hiyoko fled from the beach house. Because of that, she left footprints in the sand. Everything was a trap set by the killer to frame her. After Hiyoko left, the killer finally came out of the surfboard case and placed a gummy that they brought with them to shift our suspicion toward Hiyoko. Ironically, placing that gummy is what helped clear our suspicion toward Hiyoko. Finally, the killer began preparing to escape from the beach house. They couldn't risk leaving their footprints in the sand, so they escaped the beach house using a different route, the small window in the shower room. However, that window is rather high up and can't be reached easily, which is why the killer used the bamboo sword they always carry with them. The killer took the bamboo sword out of its bag, tied the bag to the sword's handle, and used the sword as a step stool to reach the small window while holding the sword bag in their hand. As long as they're able to reach the window, all they had to do was pull the bag to retrieve the sword. And so the killer left the beach house and appeared before us as if nothing had happened. But their wet hair and swimsuit didn't dry right away. There also weren't any towels at the beach house. So when the killer met up with us, they said they had been swimming for a while as an excuse. So how about it? This is the truth behind the incident you caused. Isn't that right, Peko Pekoyama?
I see. And what of it? She's like, totally cool with it. I haven't done anything to be ashamed of.
What are you saying? You killed Mahiru!
Wrong! I punished evil in the name of justice. That's no reason to condemn me.
Whatever. Let's hurry up and vote so we can freaking kill this weird, crazy bitch!
There's no way you can kill me. Justice can never be killed. You should all know that as well.
What are you saying?
To protect what's most important to you, you must be prepared to throw away something equally important. Understand?
I don't get it! I don't get it at all!
Then I shall be direct. Justice must carry on in order to keep justice. To keep me alive, you all must give up your lives.
Are you serious?
It's not serious. It's justice. If I fall here, who will combat the evils of this world? Now, follow your hearts of justice that reside within you all, and save my life to protect justice. Hurry and carry on justice.
Give me a break! Who's gonna die for you?
If we let Peko go, we're all gonna get killed! For the sake of grand justice, a few sacrifices are unavoidable.
A few sacrifices?
Don't worry. The justice that you give your life to protect will never go to waste.
I can't stand her anymore! Let's vote already and execute her!
However, before we do that...
Monokuma, the vote! Hurry up and let us vote already!
I'm awake!
He finally woke up!
I've heard your story! Well, I wasn't listening, but who cares? Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote! Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Such heart-pounding excitement!
Pardon me, can we please have a little more time? Pardon me.
Continue our discussion? But isn't the voting over?
Yes, but I cannot help but feel strange. Something about this is definitely strange.
Strange? What do you mean? There's no doubt that Peko is the killer.
That is true. However...
As a serial killer enthusiast, you're wondering if Petco is really sparkling justice, am I right?
Hey, Miss Sonia isn't a serial killer enthusiast. She just has a little more passion about them than most.
That makes her an enthusiast!
Honestly, it felt strange to me too. I mean, there's a distinct difference between what we know about sparkling justice and Petco, right?
Distinct difference?
You know, Sonia describes sparkling justice like this.
Justice, the center of justice that is pierced by justice. That would be me.
I see! That's right. According to what Sonia said.
The article was written in their native language, so I tried to translate it.
If she had to translate it, that means it wasn't written in English, right?
Huh? Yes, the magazine I read was written in Spanish. So, Sparkling Justice's catchphrase was no doubt written in Spanish as well. Which means the journalist and Sparkling Justice are both...
From Spain?
What?!
Peko, you're not sparkling justice. There's no way that's possible.
Or, if you insist that you're sparkling justice, can you try saying that catchphrase in Spanish?
Would you be able to do that?
It appears that the time has come for this mask to come off. However, that's perfectly fine. It's no longer necessary, and even if you find out now, it's too late for you all to do anything about it. My duty has already been finished. My duty as a tool has already been completed in full. Looks like she's back to normal? That mask has fulfilled its purpose.
What do you mean? Fulfilled its purpose? Too late? What are you getting at?
Now that you've already cast your votes, is what it means.
Hey, be clearer! We're asking you what your purpose was!
I have no purpose. I am just a mere tool.
Tool?
She called herself a tool, which means someone else used her then?
Of course. A tool cannot do anything on its own.
I see. I finally understand. Well, I did have a sneaking suspicion all along.
What do you mean?
I mean, besides Peko and Hiyoko, someone else was also at the beach house.
Someone else?
There is proof that establishes that fact. Try to remember it. I see!
Are you talking about the body discovery announcement?
Yep, that's right. I mean, didn't Monokuma say so earlier? That announcement is made when at least 3 people discover a body. And in this particular case, the killer, Peko, is not one of those 3. If that's the case, it would mean only Hiyoko and Kazuichi discovered the body, but...
I see. That leaves us one person short.
So that means there was one more person in the beach house!
Plus, the fact that Monokuma tried to hide that truth from us by being flexible with his own rules, that's such a vital clue that it could alter the outcome of the trial. Like an accomplice, for example.
No, that's not it.
Huh? Am I wrong?
Yes, from your basic way of thinking about it, you are wrong. Didn't I tell you? I'm just a tool. That means I'm just a simple tool to be used by that person.
Therefore, that person would have the strongest motive out of anybody else here.
You're the only one! Is it Fuyuhiko?
I see. Now I finally see the connection. The connection between the motive and the incident.
But even if it's the motive, it's just a game, right? There's no reason to believe it's even true. Would you call a game like that a strong motive?
I can prove it with this! I didn't think it was necessary to confirm it if it didn't have anything to do with Mahiru's murder. There's no doubt that game is based on actual events. That much is clear if you saw the ending prize. Photos awarded for beating the game are not actual in-game screenshots. They're all actual photos, with the surrounding scenery cropped out. You knew all along, Fuyuhiko, didn't you? You knew whether or not the first victim in the game was actually your little sister, right? Because whoever beat the game first received the ending prize. It was the envelope, right? The person who received the ending prize. It was you, wasn't it?
If you were shown a photograph of your sister's dead body, you'd have no choice but to believe it. Even so, you wanted to deny the truth. That's why you sent those photos to Mahiru to confirm it.
Hey! Why are we talking about Fuyuhiko? Who cares? 'Cause Peko is the killer, right? But we already voted.
That's why I told you. no motive for killing Mahiru. No reason to kill. I was simply used as a tool. As long as I am a tool, I cannot defy my belief. Hey! What's going on? Can anyone give me a simpler explanation? Please. I'm not the killer. The true killer, who used me as their weapon to kill Mahiru Koizumi, was Fuyuhiko Kuzuryu.
What?
What the hell?!
I see. That's what you were aiming for all along.
No, I have no aim. But my young master does. My young master planned this from the start.
Young master?
That is the truth of this case. I'm sure you realize it by now, but it's too late. You cannot undo the vote.
That's a problem. If Pecco's allegation holds up, that means our vote was incorrect.
In that case, the person who gets to live is...
Just... me?
That's nuts! No matter how you look at it, that's completely insane!
How would Pecco be a tool in the first place? Pecco is a legitimate human being!
That's not for you to decide. It's for Monokuma. The votes have been cast. All we can do now is wait and see what Monokuma decides.
What the hell?